This is the Mahoning Township Zoning Hearing Board having a hearing because we need some transparency in government. I hope you take a look at this. This is an 11-minute synopsis of what took place under the hearing. And when you hear the things like the chairman speaking about his past relationships with Carl Faust, the fact that this zoning officer has resulted in more hearings like these that the community pays for. And when you hear that the issues are moot at the end, wasting everybody's time because the two parties didn't even speak together prior to getting to this point where they have to go to mini court with a stenographer and people to iron out issues about signage for a new hospital. Take a look. This is not uncommon. However, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'll get out of here and you can watch. You're going to see the video move around. The full video is online. And at the same time, all the places that we just sped up, you can listen to online. We didn't cut them out of the video. We just sped them up to get to the point with the 11 minutes. Thank you.
Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Close enough. Close enough. Okay, the first meeting of the new year, the Mahoning Township zoning hearing.
That's Carl Faust.
Roll call.
Charles Pollock.
Here.
Tom Zimmerman.
Here.
Samuel Blanchett. Here.
Minutes of the last week.
Okay, there was no December meeting. The last one was November the 18th, 2021. The meeting of the Mahoning Township Zoning Board was called to order by the chairman, Charles Pollock. Attendance taken. Charles.
Okay, we have a hearing tonight concerning Lehigh Valley Hospital. And
Reorganization first.
yeah, okay. I'll get there. Which is secondary.
Secondary.
Okay. The first thing we have to do is a reorganization meeting. Nominations for chairman,
I'll nominate Chuck Pollock.
I second.
vice chairman,
Tom Zimmerman, I nominated.
secondary, and recording secretary.
Sandy.
All right. That's a 2021 report. Thank you. Okay. Congratulations. And before the meeting,
Hey, Mike,
how many hearings
I got
did we
help
go?
along.
We didn't have any hearings. Now it's all your fault.
Well,
I agree with you.
I'm doing
I
my
agree with you,
job.
Chuck.
I'm doing my job.
I don't think so, but
I do. Yeah, I will say one thing about Carl, right? I've worked with him in the private sector, personally, and through the township a number of years. If it's in the book, that's how it is, right? And it's his job to interpret it. If there's bumps in the water, different people, our country's as great as it is because of different opinions. That's why we're here tonight. Really. Okay, now, our regular.
hold on. Your country's great, you have to follow
You can
laws.
sign in,
Do I need to?
you can't talk.
Okay, no problem. But our country's great because of the laws we
You're
follow.
done. You're done. All right?
Fair enough.
And if your phone rings, you're out. Simple as that. All right? No phone out.
No phone ring.
No phone
I'm gonna
ring.
put it on mute.
I don't care what you do with it.
We should meet the
What's
zoning
your name,
offices.
sir?
It's amazing when people have power how they act, even when they're on camera.
I don't.
Okay, I'm just going to give a brief summation as to why we're here tonight. We're here over signage for the campus.
So this is the attorney for the hospital that's a building inside of this township.
The board, I'm not going to belabor this right now because it's incumbent upon us to put it on the record ultimately, but the board is familiar with the project. We've been in front of the board previously. So tonight, this is for the sign package for the new hospital. on Lakewood Boulevard. There's really three categories that we're here to deal with tonight, okay? And ultimately, we're seeking, in the first instance, a favorable interpretation in our favor, assuming the board is willing. And if the board is not willing, then in the alternative, we're seeking variance for these requirements. And they involve sections 116-7, the location of movement that may interfere with traffic lights, signals, or other controls, or abrogate public safety shall not be permitted. So respectfully, the applicant contends that it is in compliance, in fact, with the letter of the law, but to the extent you find it would not be, we believe that there's a hardship to justify a very small variance in this case for a 35 square foot electronic messaging center on that freestanding sign. With that, I'd like to call Ed Reed to testify at this time, just to sort of walk the board through the signage that's being proposed for the campus. Mr. Reed, can you go? Do you feel that the signage that's been proposed, is it going to change the essential character of the neighborhood?
No,
Okay. Is it going to in any way endanger public safety?
no,
Okay. Is it going to impair or preclude the use of neighboring properties?
no.
All right. If the board has any specific questions for Mr. Reed, I'm sure he's happy to entertain them at this time.
The only question that I have, and because I've been being this person, there is going to be a heliport at this facility. I see no signage.
We don't typically sign, to heliports. I know the heliport itself has safety signs
It's
that
the
are
circle,
regulated.
isn't
Sure, one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the heliports themselves have strict regulation on signage on, but that's state or federal, I'm not sure what, but we don't have it in our package.
All right,
And maybe Terry can speak to that, the FAA regulations.
all right,
And the heliport for that matter.
all right. That's all that I have. Do you have any questions, Sandy? Carl? Any suggestions?
Only one suggestion. If Terry remembers, we were here for signage on their office building, and they have a electronic sign there. But when they applied for it, they told me what it was gonna be doing is what they want to do with this one, and that's why that never came up at the hearing. See, they never told me how this sign is gonna operate, that's why it was number 3.
Correct.
If they would have explained that they were gonna do the same as they did at the office building, that would never been that would have been on the list.
Right.
Fair enough.
Do you have any questions? No.
He knows we're looking. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to cover his tracks, which is funny. But this consternation's common.
6:30.
That's correct, sir. Yes, in terms of
Well,
walls,
that's-
638 square
As the
feet.
board says, let's do it. We want to proceed with this in a little quicker manner.
Okay.
So tell us what you want, what you're proposing, and we'll vote on it immediately.
Okay. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just move for the admission of our application and
Okay.
And now realize, all of these parties have spent thousands of dollars, energy, effort, and everything to get to this point because of the letter that this man wrote on behalf of the Mahoning Township government.
Tom,
What's that?
you in favor of
I'm in
that?
favor of what he's asking for, sure.
Sandy?
There you go.
Okay. We're
okay.
in favor of that,
Okay.
of the 2.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Then as it relates to the informational signs, we're looking for, in this case, I think a variance actually, because we're proposing a total of 14 informational signs throughout the campus when only 3 are permitted by the ordinance. However, again, based on the testimony and the need for patient safety and welfare, and given the size of the site, and it's a unique use, we feel that it's justified in this instance.
We will vote on that with stipulation that going forward, if more signs are needed for patient safety. They can be added. You know, that we don't have to go through this again to put a new sign up.
As long as they're, yeah, I mean, we,
You okay with that, Carl?
I would put a number on it,
Right, yeah,
I would put a number on it, 5 or 6.
right.
You know, I would really ask Terry, you know, if you think, or Mr. Reed, if you think there are any more, how many more do you think you need? If they say 4 or 5, you know, put 6 on it. I mean, that's a good idea, Chuck.
Make it 20, that's number 14, we make it 20, that sounds good, Terry?
I'm fine with that.
okay.
So up to 20?
Give them 6 extra.
So up to 20 informational signs.
Okay.
Can we make a motion to that?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
With the pound of flesh already been extracted, now everybody's nice and happy.
To,
I'll second it.
for them to have up to 20 informational signs.
Okay, thank you, and then Carl, I don't wanna put words in your mouth, but it sounds like our third matter in terms of the illuminated, the messaging center, is that a moot point, or?
It's a moot point. If somebody, if they would have told me we're gonna do the same here as we did the office building, it would never been on there.
Okay,
But just for the record, I understand what you're saying about 2 separate buildings. Problems in when you read our zoning ordinance, it's the building face. That means the whole face, so it's not technically 2 separate, but it really don't matter because I have no objections to getting the variances, honest to God. I mean, it's something that's needed, but I gotta follow the book.
no, I understand. I guess for purposes of the record, I mean, we have asked for a favorable interpretation that the messaging center is compliant. Sounds like the board is inclined to agree with that, so that's our ask, and I guess I would just wanna have that on the record.
We'll put that in the decision then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to vote on that, just for the clarity of the record, that the,
Really?
yeah, it's no, it's not at all.
Okay, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chuck, before you go, I'm gonna leave as well. So, duty in the code, you recognize that the overzealous application of this has caused a lot of waste within the district, within this community, because of the overzealous use of the code to have a consternation with the good businesses in the community.
The purpose of the board is to make sure the laws, the rules and regulations as printed
Compliant, yeah.
comply with. We are not making any statement that we don't need to approve an update or
I agree with that. I'm just saying that the overzealous application of the code without even a conversation with the people that are being applied to, and to be applied in their favor when they do it, rather than in favor with the idea of let's start a war and a fight over it so everybody has to have a hearing and cost the taxpayers tons of money, would be a benefit.
I agree with you.
Would be a benefit.
I
Thank
agree with
you. We will continue to follow this. Thank you.
you. You get.
And there you have it. Lawful transparency. If you knew this was going on in your community, would you allow it to continue to happen? Will you go to the Mahoning Township government and tell them that they got to end this consternation over nitpicking the ordinances to force good businesses into hearings and hiring attorneys just so that the community gives in anyway and does what's right? They could have just done what's right the first time. Thank you. Have a great evening.